Like, I just want this to be of the highest, lowest quality.
We're going for
Okay,
B
hold on,
movie,
hold on.
like the A standard of B movies
Hold
here.
on, hold on. We're going to do this a cappella. You ready? It's the Chad and Derek podcast.
Now do it again.
Okay.
No, like it's another.
It's the Chad and Derek podcast. I was going for it. You gotta give me a second.
I was gonna sing too, Chad.
Okay, you ready?
It's in my contract.
It's the Chad and Derek podcast. All right.
I like the theme song. The other theme song better, but whatever.
You like the other one better?
Yeah.
Insert theme song here.
Everybody needs a theme
song. You know?
So how about you?
We were coming up with dumb ones beforehand, and I didn't go with any of those.
It's good to see our pre-production work is being utilized.
So,
what's the day today? Saturday.
It's Saturday, the day of reckoning. We've had a lot of events here. Let's see. COVID's still here.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it doesn't take weekends off.
I mean,
that'd be great if it did. Though.
It's got. It must have a really good health plan.
At least someone does.
For it to work this much with no pay.
I mean, if we're gonna talk COVID, are we still talking conspiracy theories? Like, there's a lot of people that throw around the term, "Well, it's just the flu."
It's just the flu. Well, I mean, also they were talking about how when the election's over, it'll just go away. But then again, those same people are like, the election's not over!
And the Supreme Court's like, I think it is. Yeah. And they're like, we'll see about that. I am kind of concerned what the next phase is going to be, since like all their legal routes have been shut down. So,
well, the next phase is going to be failure. Like, whatever they do, it's only going to make it... Like, if they do anything that we think they're going to do, like crazy people stuff, I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to say any crazy people stuff. Homegrown terrorism, dumb shit. Terrorism. Like, that's actually the way they would say. There's homegrown terrorism. So, if that shit happens, it's only going to make all that worse, and it's going to become Tea Party number 2 that died worse.
Yeah. Wait, the first Tea Party's dead?
I'll hope so.
Wow. Hey, I'm surprised and saddened at the same time that you hate
the Tea Party they had...
The concept? Or
the
like
Boston Tea Party. That was old.
If not, they're fucking vampires.
Most of them are dead.
Except for 3. We need to watch out for those fuckers.
I apologize to any survivors of the Boston Tea Party attack.
And we will serve you...
It was an attack, right?
No, they did it themselves.
Oh, no, I was thinking of... What's the other one?
It was a protest.
I was thinking about the other one.
What other Tea Party... Was there a Tea Party massacre?
Ben Affleck movie.
I mean, all Ben Affleck movies are massacres.
Well, when he's in this love with the same girl or whatever.
The same girl of what?
There was an attack. Pearl Harbor.
Oh. Yeah, the Boston Tea Party and Pearl Harbor. Roughly the same thing.
I get it mixed up.
Well, I guess history teachers off the fucking potential jobs.
I mean, to be honest, I don't blame my history teacher. I wasn't listening.
Well,
but,
you know what they say about history.
I don't. If you don't, it'll repeat itself, right?
Well, at least we'll catch it the second time. It's kind of like a rerun. What did learn from the? I'll catch you. I'll catch you.
That'd be some shit to tell a history teacher when you're not paying attention. That gets you sent to the office quick as fuck. You'd be like, if you don't pay attention, if history is not paid attention to, we're destined to repeat itself. And I'd be like, well, I'll get to see it then, huh?
Yeah. I guess I'll catch it on the flip side.
I don't know why. You can't see me right now, but... Well, you can, but they can't.
What? Where'd you go?
I'm doing like the... almost like a Marx thing there. It's like... You're
doing physical comedy for a podcast. That's great.
Okay,
well,
maybe I'll get to see it next time.
Was that your silent era Charlie Chaplin?
I don't know.
Nobody knows because it was silent.
It was silent. Yeah, I don't know what Charlie.
I often wonder what they sounded like.
That's how it was in my head, though. Like, didn't you have a voice in your head when you'd see him?
I had lots of voices in my head.
I don't know who that really is.
That's Groucho Marx, I think.
Yeah.
He's one of the Marxists.
Yeah, the Marx. kind of want to now. Like, I always want to shove two things together. No, not like that.
Well, no, you really like that, though.
Yeah.
You can't say that.
But in this sense, like, I always see, like, immediately when I think of something like Groucho Marx, I see, like, Groucho Marx,
the first
but
Marxist.
then he's, like, in, like, the Third Reich outfit, and he's, like, and like, swastikas behind him, you know?
I don't know. Were Marxists Nazis? Was Groucho a Nazi?
Nazis were Marxists.
I mean, but that's like, can you be one without the other?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, why do they have two different names?
I mean, they were socialists, too, but so am I.
So
different type of socialism.
So you're a socialist, Nazi, Marxist?
No.
Okay, so they are different things.
Yeah, they're all different. That's why I'm saying, like, there is an evil to socialism. It's the same evil that's in capitalism. So I get
the human
that.
element?
Yeah. And
every time we mix humans with things, it just fucking goes wrong.
But that's the thing, is that a democratic socialism, I think it's better than a democratic republic, for the simple fact that
we are a democratic republic, though.
That it's, but there's a difference in the sharing of assets.
Okay.
When it comes to necessity, as opposed to when it comes to.
I'm just gonna look this up on YouTube later.
What
else is happening in the world?
Am I boring you?
No, just the audience.
It's true. I kind of took that all the way left.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Fucking far left.
We'll cut it out. We'll just go right back to the laughing.
This whole podcast is just us laughing with no words.
I'm going to cut all the fucking stupid sentences I always say.
So everything.
Comedy gold.
You can laugh at us laughing at you laughing at us laughing at, oh my god. So what else is happening in the world, chat? You are going to be my news feed because I don't like getting on Facebook anymore.
Well, I don't really know anything except the shit we've already talked about.
But we haven't talked about here.
And then here.
Like on the podcast. What is it called again?
Oh, the Chad and Derek podcast?
Oh, is that what we're calling it? Can I change my name to D? I feel like it's shorter and more to the point.
And less wanted by the fucking FBI.
Well, let's just throw that all out there, too. So I guess D's off the books.
Are you scared of the Chad and Derek slander that we're going to get because
yes,
Chad and Derek?
The C&D Music Factor. So, news. Racist. What?
I have no idea.
Okay, so other things that have happened in the world. The COVID thing, we've kind of covered that.
Oh, yeah, it's covered.
Yeah, we've taken care of that.
Yes.
That's there.
No,
the election
it's
thing.
just people either fake or real taking the vaccine and then falling on the ground. They also posted a bunch of pictures of that bitch, Pelosi, who everybody who's a Republican hates for whatever reason. And sure,
her name is fucking Nancy. Like, what do you want?
Yeah, well, I don't want to, like, hang out with her. I don't feel like we would have good dinner conversation. But, like, they think she's the devil. You know?
I mean, her name is Nancy. We've seen other Nancys that were pretty
Anyway,
much the devil.
there's a picture of her, and they're going around. She's getting it. But they, like, zoom in, and it looks like they're not giving it to her. It looks like the cap's still on or something. It's just
like one of those retractable needles.
Yeah, or something, yeah.
You take a mechanical
I was looking at it,
pencil.
I was like, it's questionable, but I don't care enough to be like, maybe she doesn't want to take it, but they want people to take it, so whatever.
Well, I mean, people should probably take it since the whole, like, we're going to die anyway thing, so might as well postpone it.
I mean, I'll take it. I'll take it live on TV right now.
On TV? What the fuck
so
is this,
if
1984?
If somebody buys 25,000 of my album.
One person, though. It has to be one person.
No, actually.
No, just one person has to buy 25,000.
I mean, that'll work. It could also be 25,000 people.
Buy just one album
each.
Yeah. Just one album.
They all toss in
half
a penny. Yeah.
How much is your album?
The album's only $5.
Oh, well, then
so, like, yeah.
There's a lot of tax.
Like, they could each cut a fucking penny and a quarter and throw it in the hat, and it would
cut a penny with a quarter? Damn.
Into a quarter.
Oh, you can't cut pennies into a quarter.
Okay, into quarters. You can get 4 quarters of a penny.
So you can turn pennies into quarters, is what you're saying.
Quarters of a penny.
This commercial break is brought to you by text messages. When you're feeling lonely but don't feel like talking to other people, try a text message. Try random numbers and give out intimate information. These dogs are licking each other. And one of them's excited.
And you...
I'm trying to float this thing on my own.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
I was trying to...
You're doing great.
Well, yeah, but now you're back.
I know. I am not back. I'm still
Maybe not
else.
back.
I'm going to tell you a story.
Oh, fuck. Okay, let's do this. Hang on, let me get a drink.
Once was a boy named... Hold on.
Holden.
Hold on. Hold on,
baby, hold on.
So, like, they're coming out with a new movie.
No.
And you know how the new thing is that we're going to gender reverse things. So, you know, we had that successful Ghostbusters film.
I mean, yeah, top tier.
And then, then like, you know, they...
Like, no, tier. Like crying.
They did the Ocean's 8, which was like a bunch of girl oceans.
So it was less than... So they didn't even get...
Less, yeah, like...
Oh, wow.
70%.
Oh, wow. Wow.
You know, it's...
Ocean's 8, it's all women.
Ocean.
Did we start with, like...
Ocean's wage gap. Anyway.
The gap's an ocean.
So anyway, what I'm trying to say is you can see that the trend is great. They're doing really well with that.
All we need
and
is
so
one.
now they're going to do a gender reversal thing
for Wonder Woman.
She's All That. Do you remember She's All That?
Maybe?
Okay, it was a film about a young, attractive but nerdy girl.
Oh, is this the ugly duckling into...
Yeah,
okay.
and the hot girl.
Okay.
And like the dude with the bet with Paul Walker and shit. Remember?
Is that I've seen movies exactly like that.
I don't think it was Paul Walker, but
I was gonna say no.
It was a dude that reminded me of Paul Walker.
Got in a car
in
crash?
a way. No, before the car crash.
Oh, okay. That would have been a horror movie.
Anyway, so what I'm saying is they're doing a reversal thing where they're basically gonna have a dude who they're gonna remake.
So She's All That, but it's a dude.
It's like He's All That or something.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I think they should leave the title.
Here's the thing. I will only respect that film if it's me. I'm the dude.
You're the
and
dude?
They have to get me hot enough to get Amelia Clark.
So you have to become a hot chick and get with Amelia Clark. Amelia?
I mean, if I have to become a hot chick to do it, we can work on it. I mean, I need to know that's true though. Like I need confirmation.
You need, like a contract.
I need her to call me up on
I transition,
if she's got to hit me up on a Zoom or something and be like, if you transition, I will marry you.
But you gotta be a hot chick.
Yeah, I'll be like, all right, I'm on it.
And then at the end, she was like, "It was about your personality the whole time," and I hate that too.
And I'll have to settle for Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, settling now, are we? First the MCU kills her off, and then you do? This commercial break is brought to you by Chad's Bladder. I'll let his sound effects take it. Tell him about the what?
Product.
I have no... What are you saying?
Tell them about the products.
What products?
Tell them about the product. The products.
The legal stuff?
The ones the ones we're selling. You know, like
the not legal
the
stuff.
Worm album, your songs.
I don't sell my songs.
You have movies.
I don't sell those either.
Well, you should start right now.
Okay, give me money. Give me money. This is the Give Me Money segment. This commercial is brought to you by Desperation. If there's anything you'd like to see us do, hear us do, with certain limitations,
you can see us do it. I have OnlyFans, so I mean.
Do you have OnlyFans?
I do have an OnlyFans.
Do you have fans on your OnlyFans?
No.
Oh.
No, actually, they rejected my picture with my ID. I don't know why, but I guess I have to take a better one.
Or they just didn't think it was you?
I mean, I was...
What kind of asshole would flip up his ID with this?
I was like, from the back, butt naked, and showing my ID, so...
It's like it's like a dick pic, but you got your license over your dick.
Yeah, they weren't happy with that. No, I don't know, I guess I just didn't take the picture right, but I was going to try to start an OnlyFans that was going to be like, sure, it's about my music, but for real, if you want to see something, just...
Anything. Fucking anything.
Just give me the money.
I'll do everything but like that whole, don't fuck with cats thing. Fucked up.
Yeah, I'm not fucking on that.
I mean, I guess somebody was fucking on that. That's weird. I watched that again the other day. That's a
fucking crazy show.
Yeah.
We watched The Ripper, which originally Megan was like, yeah, it's about Jack the Ripper.
That's what I would assume.
And I was like, all right, cool. And then when I was watching it, I was like, these pictures are real. Like, I don't know if you know, in 18 whatever, there weren't cameras. So I was like, these pictures are real. These are real scenes. I was like, yeah, this isn't Jack the Ripper. And she goes, huh? Apparently,
maybe serial killers.
It was a guy who was killing women, stabbing them.
And so like a copycat, but like more like a
modern,
reboot. A
reboot, yeah.
Modern.
Anyway,
reboot.
They called him the Ripper. They called him
I feel like that's
the something Ripper.
Trademark.
Because it was 1970 something. It was years ago, but it was some years ago. But
I mean, as long as he's not Jack the Ripper, because that's
no, it was just the something Ripper. It was the wherever the fuck it went down Ripper. I can't remember the name.
The River.
Wherever the fuck it went down River Ripper.
So you're not going to be in charge of marketing. How did it stop?
There's a we're not sponsored at all by that chapter, but I know you're familiar with that chapter.
Oh yeah, the little leprechaun
dude that tells us about murders and stuff.
And then jokes about it the whole time.
Actually, his newer ones were, but this new one...
Which one? I think I saw one of was that about the parents?
Yes.
I didn't even finish it because I was like, dude, that's getting dark for me.
Oh, it got rough.
Like the head in the fucking boiler and shit?
Yeah, the head in the pot for 2 days.
Yeah. And at first I thought he was trying to burn the house down. Like he thought like if he'd set everything up, it would just catch fire and take care of it. But apparently, like from what the leprechaun said, that he was going to come back and finish cleaning. Yeah, nobody would notice his parents.
His plan apparently was to take them and grind them up and flush them down the toilet.
Yeah, but he fucked his hands up and shit.
Yeah, and he had to go get supplies, so he went home and then got that stuff. And then apparently at some point he probably found out that they found the place. So he was like, "Oh, I'm fucked." But dude, God, like he has.
Off, I'll cut you off.
Yeah, he's
mentally ill.
I
mean, obviously,
but like,
and very bad at it.
Like I don't know how you go from there to there, but I mean, he had to have been coddled his whole life.
Well, I mean, I don't even know if that because there's lots of other people that were coddled their whole life, get cut off, and maybe throw a shit fit, but don't resort to that level of violence and just cruelty.
But in their minds, not that I'm saying their minds are right, in their minds, it's almost just like the two kids that killed their parents.
Oh, the Menendez brothers? Yeah.
Like they're psycho. They're both psycho.
Yeah.
And they're both mentally ill.
Yeah.
But they both had the plan to murder their parents and take their money.
Yeah, but
that's all they really wanted to do.
I mean, but again, those people are...
Isn't that a statement on the way of society? That you have children that you raise, and you give them everything they need until a point.
But that's always been.
And then at a point, they're like, "Oh, well, fuck you."
There's even like old school stories, like to where like the kids to get their inheritance early, fucking take care of their parents to get their money, or to get the throne, to kill your parents.
Kill your parents.
Yeah,
regicide.
Yeah,
as it's called.
Regicide.
Yeah, that's when you kill the king.
Oh well, but if you're killing your parents, that's patricide.
Regicide and patricide if it's the king.
That's a lot of sides, dude.
It's like...
Could be matricide, too, if it's incest. No, is matricide mother?
Does that make it bicide? Or maybe tricide?
There's a lot of sides.
Yeah,
it's like quadricide.
Hexacide.
But yeah, I really think that's a common trait just from us as a species as opposed to modern day society. We hear about it more and it happens more because there's more people and more chances to do it. But I don't think that this is a unique problem that we've never faced before. In fact, I think we're getting pretty, like, redundant with our problems. Like, we've seen pandemics before. I mean, we've had, corrupt politicians before.
We haven't. Our generation.
Oh, I can see you again. That's weird.
Was that the thing?
Yeah, it was like, all of a sudden there was a hand, and then the rest of you appeared, and except most of your clothes for some reason.
But I think on this level, and especially in our lifetime, is pretty unprecedented.
Well, we did come from the '80s, and that was pretty conservative kickback against the hippie generation. So, like, our upbringings was in a more conservative society, on a local level.
Okay.
Like America and specifically this area. So we didn't get exposed to a lot. The internet wasn't a thing. The news covered like horrible things, but like it was always very censored. So we didn't get a full taste of when they said stranger danger. We didn't fully know what the he's going to kidnap us and just that's it. We're just going to be away from our family, not all the horrible things that were going to happen.
Yeah.
But now,
at least people will come and get you.
Yeah. They're going to come and get you, and eating you is like the nicest thing they're going to do.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's true. But I don't know. There's a, I'm trying to find, as much as I'm not condoning murder in any way.
I feel like
or any kind of crime.
This was like, I'm not a murderer, but.
No, I'm saying that because I try to empathize. And try to figure out
what makes them the way they are,
do what they do.
Well, I think there's only
what takes you. I think that it's like sex. I think that you remember before we had sex when we were a kid, and you're like, oh, I don't know, and then you kind of want to do it really bad, but at the same time you're like, and then if you do it,
it's the escalation.
At that point, you go, oh, okay, this is something I'm into, or this is this.
Yeah, this is.
I did it, and I think that the murder thing. And crime, really.
Well, I mean, it's an escalation principle.
It's like, okay, I killed somebody and I got away with it. Well,
but that's if your motivation for doing it is like is not based off like monetary things. So there's certain criminals and there's certain murderers that it's money-based things. Like, that's the escalation. Like there's other ways of getting money, and there's other motivations for murder. A lot of people that commit murder, that's always been a part of them. I do believe.
There's a difference between killed this guy and then like. Old dude that went through all that shit, and to a certain extent he may have been trying to get rid of the evidence, but no, you don't cut your mom's head off and put it in a pot for 2 days unless you're kind of mad. I mean, I think you're holding a little bit of a grudge,
or you're just trying to make sure you're doing it right. Like the first time you cook something, you're just like, should I just keep leaving it in there, maybe come back in a couple days.
It's slow cooking it.
I took it from our own recipe.
Did he, I had stupid questions.
I didn't finish the fucking video. That started to bother me. I was just in a fucking bad mood.
That's the worst it gets, but it just keeps going to the story of him.
I didn't want to know why. That's that point.
He was crazy and he wanted the money, man.
Yeah.
He had a manifesto that was written.
Once all that came out, I was like, well, this dude is obviously fucking mentally ill. And there's not a way to really understand the logic behind. I mean, you could understand he was pissed, but I get pissed about things and don't murder the shit out of people.
Yeah,
lots of people do.
Well, I've never. There's no video of him on the show, if I remember correctly.
There's him in the courtroom.
Oh, there's him in the courtroom, but he just sat there.
Well, he had the mask on and everything, so
yeah,
the Bane mask.
But he just
seemed like a simple idiot.
Yeah, he seemed like he was an offshoot for those poor guys who may have been framed for murder.
What guys?
The Making a Murderer family.
Oh.
What was the name? The Evitts or whatever?
I know.
Anyway. Poor guy, but still.
What, the one who was framed?
No, the murder guy.
The guy who killed his parents?
Yeah.
No, fuck him.
Well, I'm not saying... Yeah, I'm not saying... That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying...
Well, I'm trying to figure out what you're saying. Because you're like, poor guy, you fucking put your...
No, I was talking about the frame guy when I said poor guy.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was not talking about murder guy. I was talking about making a murder guy.
Yeah, maybe murder guy.
Yeah. Maybe.
I mean, maybe we're all murderers.
I mean, but there's a difference between murder and... I mean, in my head, I'm not a lawyer.
You're not a judge.
I'm not a judge either. Yeah, but there's a difference in my head between I killed a motherfucker, and then I was doing it for whatever reason, and that reason may or may not have righteousness to it, or saving their own life or somebody else's life.
Well,
but
like protecting things.
I can't sit here and say that if somebody fucking hurt my family or my dogs, I would not murder the shit out of them.
Yeah. Well, that's different. Like, I mean, all actions have motivation. So everybody who kills somebody the motivation can be as mundane as I fucking felt like it that day, but most of them have other kind of, either it's an urge that they've lost control of, that's probably escalated from other things, or it's a...
But you know that the victim choice, like, serial killers are usually killing small animals when they're young.
Some of them do, yes.
And shit like that. And
some
a
of
lot
them
of times a lot of them choose, like, I say they sensationalize, but you hear a lot about the ones that choose young girls, or they choose prostitutes or whatever. But like a lot of them choose old people because they're easy.
Well,
or
it's
like
the whole
young
thing
kids
is like,
because they're easy.
You don't get serial killers that get caught after their first murder. So the ones we do know about practiced first on basically easy targets.
Yeah.
And got better at it.
Yeah.
As opposed to going after really a high risk target. Not a high risk target, but like a hard target. And then all of a sudden you get arrested, and that serial killer's got one name under his book, and he's fucking sitting in prison going, well, I was going to be the next Bundy, but whoops.
I'm not. We should have a whole show of just not serial killers.
People
I was planning on it, but they got me.
I was going to be the next big one, but I accidentally emailed my manifesto to the fucking police.
Like the joys of failure, or something like that.
How to not be a serial killer. Well, first we start with the not murdering people.
Making a not murderer.
Yeah, but that video disturbed me. I mean, there's been a lot of like murder videos that really disturbed me.
The ones that disturb me are the real ones.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, fiction doesn't really bother me that much, with the exception of like that Void movie, and a couple other.
911 calls were getting to me.
Yeah, dude. Every time I hear, even the older ones that I used to listen to, like, there's times to where you're listening to it going, oh fuck, dude, that's because a lot of times it's doesn't end well.
No.
Or does it make the top 10 list of most disturbing the title should have given it away.
Yeah.
Most disturbing 911 calls.
Sorry, I'm munching. It's probably great for the podcast.
Yes, this commercial break is brought to you by, what is it, cheese in a can? What is it called? Easy Cheese?
Easy Cheese, but
Cheese Whiz?
Not Easy Cheese.
Not Easy Cheese? It's not easy, or it's not cheese?
No, it's not cheese. It is a pasteurized cheese product, I'm sure.
Wonder how it's made.
I know they use cheese to make it, but...
They use cheese to, like, feed, like, Oompa Loompas. And then they get them to sweat as they're working in the fucking chocolate factory. They take that sweat and they freeze it. And then they add a little bit of sugar.
I've always wondered, but... This is not from any basis other than the fact that I eat it all the time.
Real scientific research.
Yeah. I think there's a small amount of some kind of non-dairy creamer or non-dairy cream product. And there's also probably some gelatin added to the mix. Just to give it more stuff.
Just to give it more stuff?
Like, to cut it, almost like you would with any drug.
Wow. This podcast is taking a weird turn.
We're talking about squeezed cheese. Boy, these are the issues.
This is all a metaphor. We're actually teaching you how to fucking cook something else. Okay, so do you want to talk entertainment news? We'll go from serial killers to cooking drugs.
You introduced me to all the new things that Disney have to offer, including some crazy Star Wars stuff and some not Star Wars stuff, and then a lot of Marvel.
There's a lot of both, which I was surprised to see so much Star Wars stuff, but I'm glad to see a lot of it seems to be coming from Dave Filoni or whatever.
So one of two things is going to happen. I'm making a call.
You gonna make a phone call in the middle of this?
No. I'm making a call about the new MCU. The MCU moving forward.
Okay.
One or two things to happen.
And you know there's like 12 movies, so there's probably going to be several things that are going to happen.
It's not going to work. And when it doesn't work, they're going to be like, and they're going to go right back to the original kind of like, you know.
You talking about bringing the same characters back?
No,
or
I'm just talking about
just doing like one movie, going like basically resetting and going,
yeah,
here's one character, here's one character.
Yeah, they're going to reset
later, here's the new Avengers or the young Avengers.
That's what they're going to end
I think they're going to have a hard time, and I think
they're going to need to bring back one of those characters. I'm not saying which one. I'm just saying some of those characters are going to have to come back.
Well, I mean, we've only lost 2. Right?
I know, but I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about being in the forefront.
Oh, to drive it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to need somebody.
Or they're going to have to create, like somebody else, like Wanda or Doctor Strange is going to have to step up and...
They're going to try. I know who's going to try to do it.
Who? I want to hear it.
Larson.
Oh, Brie? I thought we already kind of like got rid of that. Like, I know she's getting a sequel, but like she doesn't seem to be directly tied into the... She's too OP. Like, there's no conflict there, like, with anything.
But how boring would it be if she just shows up at the end again to fucking save everybody's ass?
Well, I mean, it's better than watching the whole movie.
Why don't they just call her what she is then?
God?
Ex Machina.
Oh.
Here comes Brie Ex Machina.
Machina, right? Or is it Machina? Who cares? So how long before it collapses?
My guess, I don't think it's gonna collapse. It's too big to fail. Somebody will bail them out.
Okay, banks, car industry, Republican Party.
The big thing for me is that I think that with the change that's going on, they're gonna have to start adapting better.
Well, I mean,
they are gonna lead they are the ones that's gonna have to lead the change because they are the ones that it's most changing for.
Are you talking about Disney? Mm-hmm. Well, I think Disney is leading the way with the Disney streaming and the interaction between movies.
And
there's a lot of people that are saying that studios are worried that Disney might make the same move Warner Brothers does and pull all their stuff to go like same day as movies. You're going to get it on Disney Plus,
right?
To up this, the subscribers.
Yeah.
And if that happens, that'll devastate theater chains completely. And if theater chains can't continue to make money, they can't continue to stay in business. So then you have like Alamo Draft House is the drive-in theory that several people, I guess, have now.
You know what they'll probably do though? It's going to have the same effect, but it's going to do it later. Like, what they're going to do is they're going to be like, all right, yeah, we're going to let it come out in theaters, and it's going to come out in theaters, and then, assuming it's going to hit hard at first and then die off because of the way theaters are going. Give them 3 weeks before they put it up there. And then you're going to have a row of people who went and paid to see Black Widow, and they're pissed off because now everybody's watching it at home a month later. And that's going to fuck them. Because now, nobody's going to go to the theaters at all.
Well, I think there is a lot. I say large. There's a lot of people that do like the theatrical experience. They do like the fact they have to put their phones down. They do like the shared experience to where you have the whole audience laughing or sighing or the group experience. But I don't think it's large enough and there's enough solid content, especially coming out of dealing with this Corona. Because Corona has changed the way we socialize.
Right.
That will it be enough to save the theaters? It's not going to be enough to save them all. But like this, going to the theater become an event to where you have to plan in advance, get your tickets way in advance, and travel if you're not in a major city to travel to where one of the few theaters are that's left that's going to show it. And then you have like your IMAX and your 3D gimmicks that you can really push.
But not only that though.
What about home group viewing? You think that's ever going to pick up? Like to where you have like a group that's like signed in. And I've seen elements of this already.
Oh, you're talking about like
a watch party?
Watch parties, yeah. I think that they need to make that better.
How would you do that, though?
Like, right now, the only thing you could do right now is you would have to get a cross-platform thing. Like, you'd have to get Discord or some group chat thing that you could have on your phone.
Yeah. Or Disney Plus comes with an app to where you can do watch parties. Yeah. And you can, like, like a chat, like a message board and respond? Or, because you can't do everybody gets their own video stream.
No. But it could have the option of talking. All you'd need is a microphone.
Yeah, but you'd have to limit how many people could. I mean, just from a.
I've been in raid parties, so I know exactly how that works.
What's a raid party?
It's like when you're playing video games with 20 other people.
Okay.
So yeah, you would have to do that just like we did, where whoever's leading the raid, whoever's leading the watch party, has the ability to mute and unmute everybody.
So it's like you basically have an open podcast, but like you have your people that are the regulars, and then your audience that you can somehow know what they're going to say before you unmute.
Well, they can type, and then if somebody does want to say something, of course you can unmute them.
Okay, that's cool.
But also it would have I think that it's like everything else. If everybody could talk, then it would just be crazy.
Yeah,
and nobody would be able to watch the movie, but. To have the experience, you don't need that, and the people who really just want to watch it with you and experience with you, then yeah,
but there's something about watching it with strangers too, like going to the movie and you have. I'm not saying I'm drawn to that specifically, but I know people that really like the unspoken group response, the moments to where you're sharing this experience to where it's like, oh, they made it out alive, or oh, this twist happens and everybody gasps.
Yeah.
The theatrical experience, which...
I don't know if that matters to me as much.
I don't. Like I said, it doesn't really matter to me all that much either, but I know that there's people that's kind of kept the theater shit going.
Yeah.
And then there's the culture of, well, I don't want to miss it when it happens because everybody else is going to be talking about it. I'm not going to get to participate in the conversation without getting it run for me.
Yeah.
So that's why I think the same day release thing is kind of... fucked. Like, give it a couple weeks in the theater before you bring it back to your service.
Well, I mean, I noticed that if
when's Netflix going to buy a theater chain?
Well, I noticed that when they were, even for the past, like, say, 20 years, I even say, maybe 10, 15, if a movie does good in the theaters, then they hold off and they leave it in the theaters.
Yeah.
And if a movie does bad, then they'll just be like, pull it, and then they'll fucking speed up the fucking to home process. Because I remember movies that bombed. Yeah, I remember movies that bombed, and then like they were on fucking DVD or Blu-ray fucking months later,
Yeah, but now there's no more physical product, so how much is the studio actually getting from the streaming rights, and is that enough to, how quickly can you process that? Like, when is Netflix getting their own theater chain, basically? Because they've already got production and streaming distribution, so all they need is theatrical distribution, and they basically control the whole process.
Huh. What if you did personal viewing experiences?
Explain.
Alright, so right now the popular thing is that I've noticed with just friends online that because the theaters are doing so not well, but their prices of like renting out a theater to like a group of people has gone down enough to where people are doing it.
Yeah.
Actually, a friend of mine, him and his girlfriend watched fucking The Christmas Story all by themselves. So I know that, and obviously they're trying to make a little extra money by doing shit like that. So what if you had personal viewing experiences? You had small theaters like the size of this room with a,
That's an interesting business plan.
So yeah, you just shrink your theaters down. And then you still, like, especially if I rent a theater with you, now I'm not going to make you wear a mask.
Yeah.
But I might, you got COVID? Then everybody mask up. Or you were exposed, well, we should probably mask up. So then, as a personal thing, yeah.
So almost like a home theater, like some of those bigger home theaters that you've seen, like, do that, but like as a business model.
Like I would basically go to like small to medium. You'd have like a shitload of small theaters. and then like a handful of medium ones that would hold like 30 people.
Yeah, but how do you get the money to buy, like, to pay for the distribution of like your major movies coming through?
I mean, you have to. There would be a basis charge. They would have to do numbers because there's at this point you have to look at it like this: if you sell 7 tickets to a big theater, you're wasting money.
Yeah.
Whereas if you sell 7 tickets to a mini theater, you're filling it up, and you still have all these other theaters. And maybe nobody's watching them right now, but eventually that picks up, and now you're filling up small theaters.
I mean, hell, I'd start with one theater, see if you can make it work.
And the thing is that you sell it for a price that's acceptable to the point where, oh yeah, 10 people can throw in $5 and it costs $50 to rent out a small theater.
Well, but you need there's a price that you have to pay to get what is it called? Like whenever you're to show the movie.
Yeah.
There's a fee that you'll have to pay to get.
And the way they get
public,
the way that they get money is easy. All they have to do is throw on food and be like, okay, this also comes with this much food.
Well, I know, but I'm talking about like you have to rent. You basically have to rent the rights to the movie to be able to charge.
Oh yeah, I know that. But they already do that to where the theater makes like $1 per ticket.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then the theater, all they have to do is take whatever price
if it's a percentage of what your distribution is, okay. Yeah. But if it's one of those things that like Alamo Drafthouse, I think, like especially your older movies, they actually have to pay a certain flat fee. Like the amount of tickets doesn't change the amount you're paying.
You have to pay. Yeah.
Yeah, you're basically renting the movie for a to make money off of it for this one night. That's a decent business model. I like that business model. The small.
I mean, the numbers. Somebody would have to do the numbers on it and try to figure out what you would charge that would be feasible to make money. I can't say what would. My thoughts of how unsuccessful they're doing right now would be that you probably still could do it for a decent amount and make more money than they're making.
Yeah.
But the big problem is that construction. You would be.
No, you're down. You're in a hole already.
It would cost $200,000 to rebuild a place like that.
More than that.
Oh, that's just rebuilding. I'm not even talking about all the equipment
and shit.
Yeah, you're looking at what, $10,000 a fucking theater.
Could you pay rights to stream shit like if you had a big like your own private viewing?
Well, all that's going to change there too.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you have the rights. I mean, not the rights. If you already have your own like mini theater, right? Could you charge people to come see a movie?
Okay, let's say first of all, if I bought a mini theater, anything I would show, I would either have to get the rights for.
Well, I meant but could you work out a deal with Netflix and say it's a Netflix thing, but people wanted the theatrical experience?
Oh yeah, you'd have to work out a deal with them though, and I'm sure you would have to pay more than a fucking service.
Yeah, a monthly subscription
to do it. But that would all be new stuff. That wouldn't be something that's that's unprecedented waters or whatever you want to call it.
I'm pretty sure technology is going to change in a way to where even making predictions at this point.
And VR's getting bigger. What happens when VR becomes such a thing?
I think that changes the format though. Like the movie itself will adapt. Movies for that will adapt to that. But like if we're talking about your traditional movie-going experience, group experience, that's different because VR is very specific to the person in that helmet. Like, could you do it as a group? But I mean, how would that affect the storytelling?
A lot of money.
Well, I know, but like even if you're doing it online and you're doing it like with a server based, everybody's watching this movie this one time. You pay this Patreon, account, whatever, to see this. To log in and see it, but then you all see it, but you're still not like. What would be the point? Because it'd be just like you're still watching it alone with your VR, right?
I mean, what if you like they have the VR thing where you put it on and you're in a theater looking at the screen and the movie you're watching's on the screen and you look to the right and the left and there's actual empty seats, so you could have
now I see what your friends are there. Yeah, like you could have the avatars of your friends and shit like that.
Like we're talking about
6 months
everybody's
in the future.
Right, but I mean we're talking 2025, like
no, like 25 minutes in the future.
But I mean they have all that equipment, but man, do you imagine you have to set up your room with a camera that's on you? You'd have a fucking motion capture suit on.
Well, what if just the headset alone, you're doing your avatar, And you already have, like, controllers, right? Don't you have, like...
Oh, so you could just make your character do things.
Yeah, it's your avatars. Like, the idea of, like, them instantly motion capturing you as every, like, fucking detail. Like
the first time anybody would do it, though, somebody would have to get kicked out because
everybody's
they're like dancing around and doing dumb shit.
Yeah.
Nobody will sit down and watch the movie.
But I think there should be an animation for when
there's a guy in the corner doing heroin. Like, where'd you get that add-on? You know.
Well, for a small fee, I can show you. Virtual drug dealers.
Yeah.
That's weird that that's the first place your fucking head went with that fucking new technology.
Well, sorry, I've been playing Cyberpunk, and, like, Cyberpunk has that whole, like, it's like William Gibson in a video game. Like, it's like the original Neuromancer, like, original Cyberpunk stories, and it's, like, in the video game. So, like, there's things like brain dances. You know what brain dance is?
No.
Okay.
Should we stop this podcast and start a second one that's specifically game-oriented?
No.
Okay.
Fuck them. Fuck that.
Fuck them or fuck that?
I said fuck. I started to say fuck that, and then I stopped myself, and then I said it again.
Okay.
So I said fuck the first time. But yeah, like, no. Cyberpunk 2077, new video game.
Well, you were talking about virtual dances or some shit?
Yeah, brain dance.
Brain dance.
Okay, the idea of it sounds like a lap dance, and they even kind of make it look lap dancey, which some of the things are sexual. But the idea of it is that basically they have chips in their head that feel their emotions and see everything. And so whenever you imagine hooking into somebody's memory, basically, and I go do something, and then you get to see, feel, and live that memory.
Okay, yeah, I've seen this in other sci-fi things, but, like, is there a practical, real-life scenario of this?
Well, they use it for detective reasons in the game, but the practical real-life scenarios is sex stuff and
well, I meant like is
whatever
like,
weird fantasies people have.
We don't have chips in our head yet. Elon Musk is working on it. We're pretty sure he is. I've seen stories. But until that happens, with the VR technology that we have now, is there anything that's other than fucking with sound and visuals?
Yeah, I mean, like, it literally makes you feel the emotions. Like, I know that in the story, like, at one, she's watching a brain dance where a guy gets shot in the back of the head.
Well, I understand that, but I'm talking about, like, real life. Like, other than visual and sound, is there any way to make us...
Oh, no, not that I'm aware of. I mean, I'm not a scientist, so I don't know.
Wait, you're not?
Not today.
Oh, yeah, it is Saturday.
Yeah, I'm off.
Science takes a fucking break on the weekends.
Yeah, science is Monday to Friday. But no, I don't know if there's some way for you to use some kind of, like, electromagnetically based helmet that can, like, actually affect your brain.
Well, I don't know if maybe there's some kind of flashing lights that you can, like, trigger something, but not just
what's I think it's cool too is the thing. You remember? Did you ever see that episode of Star Trek Next Generation where they had those little fucking things they put on their head and it was shooting in their eye and they'd play a little game and the game like made them fucking orgasm every time they finished it in their head?
I missed that episode.
Ah, dude, not for real, but like basically it looked like it. Like the idea was, imagine if you took your glasses. My glasses, and you put them on like this, to where there's these two little things like this. So you just got these
fucking light frequencies hitting your fucking optic nerves.
Well, it shoots a laser into your eye, and it basically sinks you. And then you're playing a video game that's in front of your eyes. And the video game is stupid. It's basically like, here's a thing, and make it eat the thing. And that's all that you see.
Yeah.
But you see the people, and the people are going... And then, like, when they get it, they're like,
yeah.
You know, like, it's the best thing in the world.
Well, basically all that is the port. You're using lasers to port into the brain to trigger things.
Anyway, so, that being said, they kind of look like that, the brain dance things. Yeah. And then it just flashes light and it goes white, and then you're in basically, like, the Matrix loading screen where everything's white. And then, bam, you're in the whatever. And then, so yeah.
Do you want to talk about the controversies around this game?
Totally.
Go for it. You're going to have to explain to me some of it.
Okay, well...
I did watch that Drinker Recommends thing, or the Drinker
thing.
Yeah, but he was more bashing just fucking critics of the
Critics
game.
of it. Well, yeah, I agree with him. I thought that was so cool that he did that, too. The game itself came out, or was slated to come out, like, November something. And then they pushed it back to December 10th. and I think it was 10th. Might have been 5th. But anyway, so they pushed it back because they didn't say this out loud, but basically what happened was the PC game that they built worked perfectly on very high res systems, which they all have specific specifications, and then there's recommended specifications.
Yeah.
So, that being said, most people that have it on PC think it's a cool game. They don't really have any problem with it.
Yeah.
Like every other fucking game that's ever done this, they ported it over to both PlayStation 4 and Xbox. Keep in mind, this is basically a next generation game.
What does that mean?
That means it's pushing as far as like computer power.
Okay.
It's basically trying to push for what the Xbox new one, I don't know what it's called. X, I think.
No,
or whatever.
it's PS5.
And then PS5.
Which nobody can get.
Yeah. And so it's those are supposedly supposed to run it good. But the old systems, not so much. Again, we're also launching a game. And I don't know if anybody knows, but the new standard for video games these days is, okay, we get a game good enough to put out, we launch it, and we let our testers who paid for the game test the game.
Everybody's beta testing now.
And this is every game ever. Like, that's why I'm so kind of like pissed off and like not really seeing eye to eye with anybody bitching about this video game. Yeah, it's got issues. It died like every 6 hours, and I'd have to restart it. There was graphical stuff. Sometimes I would be in a cutscene, listen to them, talking to them, and they'd walk right through me, which was kind of a little weird. Every time I look in the mirror, I look like Sinead O'Connor because I don't have any hair. I made a girl character. The funniest thing about this is I saw some articles that were saying things, because okay, you can make girls with dicks, you can make big titties, little titties, you can make guys, you can pick the size of your dick. Like, there's a lot of choices when it comes to that kind of stuff. You can make a guy with a vagina. And so it's very inclusive in my mind that anybody who wants to be whatever they want to be, they can be it.
Yeah.
And you can even pick a thing that's like, you don't know. Like, there's always a pair of panties there, or whatever you want to call it. And so that's fine. I think that's inclusive. And in the game itself, you can have kind of pseudo relationships with both guys and girls. And so, and you can go sleep with whoever you want. Like, there's fucking hookers of both sexes. Yeah. So, like, I think that it's very inclusive. And there's actually articles that are bitching about how, oh, it's not inclusive. There's not enough different types of relationships you can have. And I'm like, dude, I played through the whole game. I fucked a guy, 2 girls. I'm a hot chick with a vagina, and I know that's real normal, but
traditionalist.
But that being said, I think that's funny that they're bitching about it. But more than that, it's just a bunch of people who are just mad. And they're going through life, and their game was not perfect. The game the game that they thought was going to be perfect wasn't perfect.
Well, we've had too much time on our hands. Like, this past year's slogan is, we've had too much time on our hands, and we're unhappy.
I just don't get it. It's been I with the problems that I had, I still think it's been one of the best video game experiences I've had in years. Now, I will say, given this, because of my friend Alan, who I used to play D&D with, I was introduced to Neuromancer. That was right about the time that fucking Johnny Mnemonic came out.
Yeah.
Johnny Mnemonic is based off a short story from William Gibson, and it kind of got me into that era, and I actually read a handful of books by William Gibson that were all within this cyberpunk era.
Yeah.
And there's D20 Dungeons and Dragons types games called Shadowrun.
Yeah.
There's an actual one called Cyberpunk. And he actually is a voice in the game at one point, the guy who made that. But that all being said, yeah, I have a little history with it. So I understand it not being the coolest thing to everybody.
Yeah, it's still a niche. Like,
yeah.
It's cyberpunk, which is a genre now.
Yeah.
So, like, if
well, there's so many people that I was so surprised to say, like, I'm online kind of commenting with people and fucking talking shit, and whenever somebody's shitting on a game, I'll say something about it. I won't really argue with them. I'll just kind of like, counterpoint, and then, I'm out. And one guy, in particular, but there was a lot of people who basically were like, "What's cyberpunk anyway? I don't even know what that is." And I was like, "Oh."
Yeah.
You know,
how did you get this far in this conversation?
Yeah.
And like the core concept here is a mist on you.
But they were asking because they don't know, and this game is strange to them because they've never heard of anything like this. And so yeah, it's a corporate-run future
Blade
Runner-ish. Yeah. Actually, you actually have there's a perk on there called Blade Runner where you do more damage to machines.
Nice.
But yeah, you can have everything from I can jump really high, and I got my arms transform into big, huge fucking blades.
So it's like the Green Lantern?
No, it's like if the Green Lantern had a better imagination.
Yeah.
There's no rings involved. It's all stuff that you're getting installed into your body.
Oh.
Yeah. Like you have to have surgeries. You know what the doctors are called? They're called Ripper Docs. And you go and get like shit installed in your head and arms and wherever. You can have like I just got a thing to where it's just literally in me that whenever I hit 20% health, it automatically fills my health once for like, and then it has like a cooldown.
Yeah.
I run fast. I can run for like 4 minutes straight.
Is this going to be like a multiplayer game at all, or
essentially in 2 years? They're saying at the most.
Okay, so this is just still single player.
Right now, it's just a single player game.
Is there any online aspects to it?
No, actually, you don't even have to. Other than the fact that you have to download the fucking update online. I don't even think you have to be online to play it, but I might be wrong. Because I'm always online anyway. But it's a whole world that I could talk about forever. So I don't know if I want to take up the whole podcast.
Yeah, I was going to say we should have started a whole new fucking podcast just for the game.
But
is there anything else outside of the game that you want to talk about?
Eminem.
Okay, let's talk about like this traitor.
Traitor?
Yeah.
Why? Why is he a traitor?
Fucking he thinks COVID's fake.
When did he say that?
Did you not hear him?
No.
I'm pretty sure that's what he speaks very, very fast. Just a warning to people.
You might want to listen faster and you can catch up.
How do you listen faster? Please walk me through the steps.
Listen again and listen carefully.
Careful and faster are not...
First of all, that's not what he's saying. You're just stupid. Second of all...
Thanks for being so understanding,
yeah,
Chad.
I have to pull the Band-Aid off, right? You know? So, I think the new album's pretty good. I haven't listened to all of it, which is surprising because
really,
like, yeah.
When did it come out?
Yesterday morning.
And I figured that would have been the first thing.
I've listened to a handful. I mean, I've listened to most of it, at least starting the songs and kind of listening to what the beats sound like. But there's a handful of songs where he comes in fast at the beginning, and they grab me, and so I've listened to them more. I do need to sit down and hit play and just listen to the whole album. But it's great. I mean, you know me. He could have fucking rapped the phone book, and I would have been like, "This is pretty good." You know?
What the hell's a phone book?
Albert and Einstein bitches, you know.
Really, Albert Einstein's the first name that's in the phone book?
Yeah. You don't know that?
Still trying to remember what a phone book is.
As phone books like a motherfucker who's on the ground prone hooks you in the face.
Did do any marketing for it?
That's
how did he let people know? Like
he dropped it on his
like
Facebook and Twitter and everything,
okay.
Man. Yeah, I'm sure he has like what's that Vimeo or whatever where they do the videos. Like he has so many platforms, it's probably not even funny. But basically, yeah, he just dropped it all on his platforms, and it's on Spotify, and I've been listening to it on my other little thing. What's it called? Tidal.
You fucking did Tidal?
It comes with my phone.
Oh.
It's the only reason I got Tidal is because it comes with my phone.
Oh, so you actually have Jay-Z music?
Yeah.
Cool, because I can't find 99 Problems anywhere.
I'll look it up for you in a little bit if you want. But yeah, Eminem dropped a new album out of nowhere, and it's wonderful. I'm sure I'll do some more talk about it later. I will say that there is a small part of me that's kind of like, God damn it, because like he is like my
idol
as far as like musically, and it's obvious. I mean, you know, every time you're in the car, it's like Eminem, maybe a Tech Nine or Tool song, Eminem, you know, like, and so yeah, like when he drops this shit every year, and like I go, yeah, and I get excited, but then like there's another part of me. It's like I'll never be this. I'll never do this fucking album. This album will never be. My album will be never as good as this album. And maybe that's wrong. Maybe I'm shitting on myself.
Well,
but
I mean,
like
I
at
feel
the
like
same
it's
time,
unrealistic like expectations. Like you'll never make that album clearly because he just made it.
Yeah,
you probably shouldn't try to make that album.
I know,
for copyright reasons. But you can make an album a year.
Yeah,
you have done enough stuff to probably put out several years worth of material.
Yeah, if I finish any of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just need to do a lot more writing and trying.
It's the trying. And more hooks. More choruses.
I told you. My next hook's going to blow you out of the water. I sent it to you.
You had me at blow me.
Worm.bandcamp.com is where you can get my shitty old music that's really good.
Way to sell that, Chad.
It's really good.
Really good shitty old music. Breaking new grounds 13 years ago.
I'm only call it shitty because of its sales. like people bought it who were trying to help me save my house. And then when we saved my house, it was like, yay! And I was like, anybody else want it? And they were all like, what? What's a CD player?
Yeah.
Like, I had a rich guy who comes into the bar, or used to come into the bar when I worked there a long time ago, you know? And he literally bought 2 copies from me. And then later I asked him what he thought of it, and he said, oh, I don't have a CD player, man.
That's fucking great.
Yeah. Like, I was mad, but at the same time I was like, I mean, he paid me for them. Yeah, like, yeah. But anyway.
I don't even sell my stuff. I'm just like, listen, push play. You don't even have to have the speakers on.
Just press play and give me a spin. You got anything else to throw at the people? Do you want to do a cyberpunk podcast?
I mean, we can.
Right.
You're going to have to explain it to me.
That was the idea.
Okay. But anything else I want to talk about? Yeah, this Jesus guy, okay?
Well, he's coming.
He ain't the only one.
His birthday's right around the corner.
Which corner do I need to watch out? Jesus, the horror movie. Badass.
Oh, man. I don't know if you'd get it. I don't think you could get it released. But first you'd have to get it filmed and edited.
I mean, or written. We
can start with pre-production, maybe.
Like, start with a story.
I can see him just like wake up one day. We're filming the Jesus horror movie today.
Yes.
Show up, you know. Do you have a script? I don't need a script.
God shall be our guide. Kill him once.
Well, again, make sure you go to worm.bandcamp.com and get my good music. And Derek has music too.
Yeah, Mad Rock Week. Just Google that.
Google that. Go to SoundCloud.
Or
make sure you go to SoundCloud and listen to that thing before your friend like calls us right now. Before Joe shows up and he's like, if you don't fucking listen to this right now, I'm gonna kill you. You don't have SoundCloud on your fucking phone. What the fuck's wrong with you?
It's like Joe's like, hey, let's listen to music we did 15 years ago. I'm like, I didn't really like it that much then. I'm kidding, I liked it then, but that was 15 years ago. And clearly we're the only 2 people that have listened to it, so.
I listened to it.
I'm sorry.
I remember listening to it before.
Yeah, I think
that was the thing that was like most annoyed by that whole thing, and it was me going, like I said out loud, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. I remember when, and then like
recording that. Yeah, I was in your house.
Yeah, I was like, I remember when y'all did that, and then I was sitting there for a second, and I was like, and he goes, so anyway, and he's trying to get me to play it again. I'm like, So we've all established that we've all heard it.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are you still trying to do this, you know?
It's a fucking nostalgia thing, man, when you